it's not just Batman #1 day. You know, there's some other things attached to that, such as Hush delays. Let's go. Who could have seen this coming? Who could have seen this coming, y'all?
It's a total shocker. I can't
Oh,
believe it.
oh man, Hush got delayed. So remember AJ a couple months ago? We came on here, we were very happy. You know, we're talking about how much Hush 2 sold. You know what I'm saying? It did crazy numbers, and you know, we're talking about
Hmm.
how it's gonna reverberate across the bat line. And, you know, we were excited, man. Oh boy. Little did we know. Little,
It's going to reverberate across the line because you're not going to know what's happening in at least two books
yep.
because Hush hasn't finished.
So yo, since the last time we spoke, Hush got delayed. I believe is the last two issues got at this point.
I don't
I
know. They've been delayed so much. Dog, when was the last time an issue came out? It feels
bro,
like it's been a minute.
I think the last time was, I want to say June.
Jesus
No,
Christ.
no
It
way.
feels like it's been a minute. And
Oh, like it. So yeah, Hush got delayed, y'all, and like we said before, this was supposed to set up not only Matt Fraction's run, but it's supposed to impact Nightwing, supposed to impact Batgirl, supposed to impact Detective, Batman, and Robin. And the story's not done yet. And mind you,
uh, don't
th-
forget Red Hood also. So
oh shit, that's right. Cause
at least two books we're supposed to be spinning out of it. The new Batman
mhm,
and Red Hood. I know it's gonna affect all of the Bat family, but those two books, their narratives are supposedly directly tied to that. And yeah, like I said, I don't know if Batman 1 touched on anything from it today.
no,
Um,
no, I'm just
okay,
saving the trouble. No,
okay, so you're all right there. I've seen the Red Hood previews, and it does allude to something happening. So
oof,
yeah, I
oof,
don't know. It feels like it's going to be messy. We'll see because we've only had what 3 issues of Hush so
yeah,
far,
mm-hmm,
and supposed to be 12. The back 6 were always going to be released at a later date, but we're still 3 months from the first part being 3 issues, I should say, because I doubt they wrap it all up over the next 3 months. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what they expected to happen, guys. Like Jim Lee is the head honcho of the company, and you also want him drawing a monthly book. Like in the best of times, Lee has had delays. I don't know. I don't have a problem with you doing Hush too. I like the first Hush. Some of the spinoffs over the years have been hit or miss, but I had no problem revisiting those characters. But I say this should have just been a Black Label book from
yeah,
Jump or something. Like
mm-hmm,
I'm not gonna say Elseworld because Hush is main continuity, but I don't know. Like you mentioned it in the chat earlier, like hey, they should just let Chip's run continue and
mm-hmm,
put this Hush 2 somewhere else. Yeah, more and more you look at it, more it looks like that would have been the better decision going forward with Batman. But it's too late to do anything about that now.
yeah. I mean, you could have let Chip's run extend, or honestly, I'm sorry. I know this might be a damning take. If you couldn't do that, the other option would have been I put somebody on to do like a little filler arc. We've done it before, or better yet, would it have been that bad to not have Batman for like what 2 months?
They
I mean,
couldn't
cause
afford it. I don't think.
yeah,
Like a lot of the stuff, not absolute, is suffering. I mean, we haven't had a Batman in practically 2 months now, and
yeah, yeah.
I'm sure they're feeling it. So,
Hmm.
um, like I said, I don't know. Like you can't be surprised by this. Like we said, Jim Lee, he's a highly detailed artist, so he's a highly detailed artist, and he's not in his peak as
Hmm.
like, and I'm not talking peak quality wise, just peak output production wise as like he was in the early 2000s. He's older, guys. People slow down when they get older.
Mm-hmm.
So you add in that on top of being the chief executive officer of DC, publisher at large. Like, I don't,
And a family man too. I just found out this
and
motherfucker
that
got nine
on top of it,
kids. He got
yeah,
nine
man.
kids,
Like,
bro. 9.
yeah,
God damn, bro.
yeah, that's a lot. But I don't I don't see how they could have looked at their release calendar and said, yeah, this makes sense. You should have just, like I said, done it black label, and just let it come out all at once, or
Yeah.
not all at once, but when they let them get on a black label release schedule where most of those books are already every other month. If it's a
Mm-hmm.
bigger title, some stuff comes out monthly, and I feel like you could have avoided at least some of this. You probably still would have had delays, but it wouldn't be affecting your main line.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it is what it is. You say the first issue of Batman, you don't feel it, so that's good. I wonder how deep it is going to be with the Red Hood stuff, because it looks like he's once again had a bit of a falling out with the family, and I don't know. I guess you're going to be going months trying to figure out what all happened there, but we'll see.
The only other thing I could say is it that bad if we just don't have it come out? Like, is it really that bad? Like, I know right now the release date, this is supposed to end in October. So
Yeah,
I mean, sure, that gives, and it's coming out twice in October. So that's part one.
I first off, I doubt that happens.
Yeah, say, oh, of course. But we could forget about it. Everybody's moved on to Fraction, right? Because it's gonna be weird now, right? Because what you have Batman #1, and
Yeah,
then you
and
have
then
what Batman 160 whatever.
yeah, not that was always going to be weird.
Also, and don't forget,
I
what about part two?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Part two was always going to be its own thing. It wasn't going to be in the main numbering. So I would say, dog, maybe just finish up what you have now and finish up part two and release the rest of what happens here in these last three of part one. You just release that with part two. But again, I don't know. See, it's really dependent upon how heavily it
Yeah,
ties into the Bat books going forward. Loeb and Lee were making it sound like, hey, it's gonna be a lot. I'm thinking probably something with, well, shit. No, we know shit is gonna affect, like you say, Batman and Robin. So that's
mm-hmm.
Damian, and we see, they've been advertising Tim as being back as Robin, like full time, teamed up with Batman again.
Yep.
So something happens with both of those relationships. They mentioned in the Red Hood preview something with Barbara, so I don't know if her
Oh,
I don't know if her and Jason really had some massive falling out. So I really don't
it's
know.
it's
It's
messy.
messy. It's messy.
It's messy, man. And I also wonder too. I mean, this is just pure speculation.
Hmm.
What if Lee and Loeb just jumped the gun? They came out, Hush 2 is the thing, that they did that panel, and they were talking about how this is going to be this, is going to be that. What if they did that prematurely just so, they can kind of salvage what we now know as the last Batman book? Now their hands are tied, and now they have this conundrum on their hands. Or better yet, what if it was never really connected to anything and it's just Hush 2?
I could
But
see
then
all of
again,
that.
yeah, the Red Hood aspect
Um,
of it. Yeah.
I could see all of that. Even going back further, you got to remember, towards the end of Chip's time on Batman, it was, hey, I'm going to be coming out twice a month, and it was, hey, no, we're going back to monthly. Then it was like that whole schedule was getting jumbled up, and he talked about it on the Substack. I can't remember all the stuff verbatim, but he had told him like he was already probably going to be ending his story,
Hmm.
but he makes it sound like he was, even after that, it was essentially fired so they could bring in Fraction and Lee. I guess Lee and Loeb were supposed to be the filler arc. My thing is that's just the wrong creative team to go to for a filler arc,
I mean, if you want to
because
juice your numbers,
yeah,
sure.
I mean, yeah, juice numbers, yeah, but it's not going to be timely, or it had to be something you were planning, probably 2 years in advance, just because of how methodical and let's be honest, slow Lee is at this point. I mean, look, we know that pretty much everyone soured on Chip's run. It seemed like I feel better about it than folks, but once the numbers started going down, like I said, Batman was in the 20s. I'm like, yeah, you kind of feel like that's coming. It sounded like editorial and leadership soured on upon it.
Mm-hmm.
We saw, some of the discourse on the timeline. People, first off, it's been discourse like the last three Batman runs.
Yeah, that's
Um,
nothing new.
right, like the last run that was just like universally beloved feels like Snyder's, and even him, he had some ups and downs, but comic Twitter wasn't what it was
Mm-hmm.
now back then. I want to say a lot of it goes back to King, man. They thought they could get greener pastures numbers wise, and they did for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But you eventually end up right back where you were, and it's like, hey, just let creatives finish their story and let them move on to the next thing. They went to Tynan basically in what was essentially the middle of his planned run. The 5G stuff was happening.
Yep.
Substack offered him a bag, so he basically said, "Fuck y'all, I'm out." Zdarsky, they bring in Zdarsky. Started off really with two really strong arcs.
Mm-hmm.
Then after that, quality wise, dipped, it peaked and dipped.
It wasn't.
So,
I don't mean to interrupt, but like
go ahead.
I think Zdarsky's run was more of. It felt more editorial than Zdarsky. That's what it feels like to me. Like I remember when I was listening to one of our older episodes recently. Like
Hmm.
so much happened. So much was happening during Zdarsky's run. Like
Yeah,
his run started right on the tail of an anniversary issue, which is where
yeah, I did. I
remember
remember.
we got that like the big multiversal stuff. Then you
Hmm.
had Gotham War, which even when you
That was the turning point for
that was the
his arc.
turning, and even then it when you look at like the art and all that, it just didn't feel like this didn't feel like something that was planned. Also, Night
Hmm.
Terrors.
Yeah.
Remember that happened,
Hmm.
and then it didn't feel like Zdarsky's run had a it didn't feel like it had like a story because then you had the weird Joker Year One story thrown in, and then somehow this got tied into Absolute Power. Like what?
Yeah.
What are we doing here? And
It felt like a lot of it, like you said, made up as you're going along, not necessarily from Zdarsky, but and that's the thing that we've heard about some of the Batman runs in the past. It's basically been essentially editorial writing the book, and the writer has to figure out how to stitch things together.
mhm,
King said that toward the end of his run, whatever the arc was before City of Bane, he was like that was essentially all editorial.
mhm,
The wedding stuff towards throwing them apart, the fake out at the last minute, and then keeping them apart that long was editorial. And then we know him finishing that run and the wedding happening in Batman and Catwoman.
Tory
That's
man.
also editorial. So that's nothing new. So I wouldn't be surprised if it happened with Zdarsky. But it just feels like I don't know. It feels like chickens are coming home to roost on the Batman title a bit. Not
Yeah,
necessarily numbers wise, but here you are. You've got two runs going to be happening simultaneously of the same title. Like this isn't a Batman and detective thing. This isn't a Batman and what urban legends.
mm-mm.
This isn't a Batman and Robin. This is a Batman and Batman runs that are going to be happening at the same time. First off, that's going to be confusing for readers. Um,
What about the numbering? I just heard
yeah,
that.
that the numbering, like you said, I can't even remember what that last issue of Hush. I think we're in like the 120 something.
When Hush wraps up, it's going to be Batman 163.
163. Ooh, okay, I'm off
Yeah.
a little bit. But even still, okay. If I'm just an average comic reader, I'm not somebody who's tapped in tightly pays attention to all the stuff, social media. I'm not checking DC's with YouTube. I'm not checking their
Hmm.
Twitter, Instagram, whatever. I'm just going to my shop, picking up my books, and coming back home. Dog. Like, yeah, you know that the fraction run is coming. And okay, in the back of your mind, you realize, yeah, Hush hasn't completed. But like we just said, we're trying to figure out how long it's been since the issue of Hush 2 came out.
Yeah, June. The last one. Yeah. No, excuse me.
That's
July 23rd. So, yo, holy shit. That's a month and some
so
change.
yeah. So you're looking at, so we're essentially at 6 weeks since
God
that last Batman
damn.
issue has come out. Now you've had delays, with Batman and stuff before, but is the next issue of Hush coming out this month? Didn't it fall out of September?
The next issue of Hush is coming out in October.
See, that's what I'm saying. So now you're talking about another 4 weeks, and then you're telling me 2 issues of Hush is coming out in October. Yeah, bro,
Yes.
I don't buy
Yeah.
that. Just for the fact that comics are getting pricier by the day, it seems. If somebody's really watching their coins, I'm sorry, they're not picking up 3 issues of Batman in a month.
Oh, no
They're
way.
gonna they're
No
gonna they're
way.
gonna tell the store, hey man, just hold. I'll pick that up on my next visit. Like
Mm-hmm.
a $6 book for what 20-ish pages, and you getting that 3 times a month? Nah, bro.
Yeah, nah. Mm-mm. Because
Um,
all the goodwill at this point is burned out. Like, cool,
yes.
you had that huge sales bump when the first issue of Hush 2 came out. That's wonderful. Awesome.
Mhm.
But then now you're telling me, wait, hold on, dog. I just spent, we also got to think about the collectors too. How many motherfuckers done bought multiple variants of
Yep.
this
Yep.
Batman that just came out today? So
Oh
they
man,
spent
come
money
on
on
now.
that. Now you telling me, oh shit, next month I got Fractions Run, and then on top of that I got Hush too, and then you tell me I gotta buy
Mhm.
that shit twice, and then you're
Yep.
telling me that story's not even done. Oh, brother.
Mhm.
Now you know what's really gonna be telling? The
What's
numbers
that?
for part two, issue
Oh,
one.
I think those are already in the tank, brother. I don't think you're, and nothing's been solicited yet. I just don't see it having a favorable outcome. They're gonna promo it hard. Don't get me wrong. Like
Mm-hmm.
DC is gonna put their marketing weight behind that. But I just think people have been burned, but they can just say, "Hey, we're gonna release a part two as a deluxe hardcover. It's gonna have
Yeah,
all 6 issues,
yeah,
right? Like that. That's honestly how I would go about it. And not only, hey, we're releasing part two as a deluxe hardcover. We know it took a while to get the first 6 out, so we're gonna put that out as well as a deluxe hardcover. We're not even gonna put that in a traditional trade. We're gonna do the
yeah.
deluxe hardcover.
Mm-hmm.
Um, or hell, put all 12 of them in it.
People will
Just
buy
wait
it.
till the
They'll buy it.
yes, yes, absolutely. Because right now, what they're doing, it's like, ugh. If it didn't tie in so heavily, at least what we're being told, I would just say, hey man, just take it off the release schedule and just release it as a collected edition when it's all complete.
I'll even go as far to say this: like, if they really want to wipe their hands clean, let Hush 2 come out. Right. Okay, cool. You said you read the previews for Red Hood, right? And then you said it alludes
Hmm.
to something happening with Barbara. Hey,
Yeah.
dog, there's more than enough time for a future issue to. All right, you don't even have to address Hush. You can just. You could retcon whatever. Not even retcon, just like, all right, cool. Do a couple panels here. This is what happened with me and Barbara. Don't even mention
Yeah.
Hush. Don't even mention it.
Okay.
It could be its own. It could be its own little thread. You know what I'm saying? And then
Right.
if I don't know who if Thompson or whatever wants to pick it up because she's the one that's writing Barbara right now, cool. You could play a little back and forth with that. But other than that, no. If they are smart, this doesn't have to be another three Jokers.
Three Jokers. Even that is different. Don't get me wrong. It pissed me off the delays for that, but they never started Three Jokers and then it was like, okay, here's the first issue. Now issue two is not coming out for however
Mm,
many months. Issue three is not coming out for however many months. When Three Jokers started releasing, it came out back to back to back, and like Johns and Fabok are slow too. Like I think Rook Exodus, the next 6 issues of that is a testament to their slowness as well. But
no way. Same.
Yeah, like bro, they took off. They released the first 6, and they were like, "Okay, we're coming back next fall." Like,
God
all
damn.
right.
All right.
Um, but they at least once they started releasing, it was coming out. Um, Now, yeah, Johns has had these type of delays with Hush on other projects, so I can't say that he's just above that. But
Mm-hmm.
Three Jokers, at least when it started releasing, was on a decent schedule. And then that's the other thing: people give more leeway to Black Label books because even
Yeah.
if, let's say, it had been delayed while it was coming out, your Black Label schedule for the premium Black Label, what they call their premium books, the ones they usually charge you a little more for, those tend to be on an every other month schedule anyway.
Mm.
So I think I think people are accustomed to waiting for that more. This here is your mainline book.
If they want to be smart, don't even, bro. For the rest of these, don't
Mm-hmm.
even put the fucking number in, yo. Just Hush, Hush Part 3, Hush Part 4,
Yeah,
bro. Don't even
yeah,
put the
yeah.
fucking
It
number in.
would be smart to
Yeah,
just relabel it as titled Batman Hush 2. Just call it that from now on. But
yeah.
again, that means going back. That means going back to printers. That means going back to having whoever. I assume Lee's
It's a
doing the
yeah.
logo, so going back. That's more time. Anybody else, I would say it shouldn't take too much time, but he's got so much else on his plate that could just add to delays. I,
Yeah.
I don't know. I understand why you don't get a different artist other than Lee. Like Hush is baby. Let's be clear. When you think of Batman Hush, you think of Lee's art. I know writers typically tend to wrongly get more of the acknowledgement when it comes to comics, but Hush especially, it's like, no, those are Jim Lee's designs.
Yeah.
That was like his first like real big thing at DC. It was after coming over from Marvel and Image. It was like, nah, that Hush book, like that's Lee's magnum opus at DC.
Yeah.
So I understand why you don't get a different artist.
Yeah.
I don't understand why you put it as at this point in time. It was different when back in the early 2000s. Like I said, he was a lot younger. At this point in time, you know how much he has going on in his life, in both professionally and and at home. Why do you make it part of the main Batman book? It should have just been a standalone story. Could have been Black Label. Could have been. It still could have been mainline, even if it wasn't Black Label, and you do a standalone. Putting it in the main Batman book is tying too many other things up.
Let this be a lesson. Sometimes you don't have to go back to an old well, man. Like
Yeah.
this is what happens when you do that. You see what I'm saying? Just like you could have just let shit be. I think that first Hush was pretty solid. Like I just finished reading it. We could have done without. Luckily enough, it's comics. And I could only assume the writers who might have been attached to this, whether it's Gretchen, who's doing the Red Hood book, whether it's Dan Waters, whether it's Taylor or Bromble, I'm sure they got a heads up. I'm like, yo, guys, this Hush thing, it's not coming out on time. So if you can do a couple rewrites, if you're gonna like have this be very connected, yeah, turn that around. So I feel like everybody's probably gotten a heads up because what I don't want to happen to close, stuff like this continues on and it starts to affect Matt Fraction's run. Because it again, it would literally just be another case of editorial did this, editorial did that.
Yeah.
So you, they can save themselves, and we'll see what happens. But I can reckon New York Comic Con we might get some answers. But am I annoyed in terms of like collecting? Yeah, because I was collecting this and uh,
Hmm.
now I have a fucking gap that may not ever be filled for the next God knows how long. But
Right.
we'll see what it is.